Listen, our next guest is on the phone. Let me go ahead and get that ready. And it is filmmaker Chad Meek, and he is a fourth-generation Californian whose broad range of interests have given him a diverse resume that includes oil exploration, precious metals mining, excuse me, renewable energy education, and astrology.
It's a pretty wide range of areas of expertise.
Stuff. Now is not the time to get a feather. All right. And he was raised in the California desert in the shadow of giant rock. And his famous E.T. contactee, Uncle George Van Tassel.
He starts joking for real. You're on
this
your
is
own,
karma.
Dude.
That's what this is. They're all the junk he
Wow.
was talking earlier.
You are on your own.
You guys put something in my drink. But Chad is in the process now of making a film about his uncle, George Van Tassel. And it's called Giant Rock, the Movie. And it's an epic UFO thriller that is a feature film. It is based on a true story, but is not a documentary or a mockumentary-style film. Chad has taken dramatic license, and the goal has always been to get people to read George Van Tassel's writings and books, and, of course, have some fun while they're doing it. So, Chad Meek, welcome to The Mix Show.
Yeah, thank you. It sounds like you have the same death ray from Mars or something that we're all suffering from this country here. I've been suffering the last 5 days. I'm a new child. I've got a new life. I've been resurrected today on the Mix Show.
There you go. That's right. Heal. We have healing powers. We have the healing powers.
Healing powers of the Mix Show.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, it's great having you on. Listen.
It's funny because it makes us sick.
I know.
Anyways. So give us a little bit of, first of all, give us a little bit of insight as to who George Van Tassel was, besides being your uncle.
Yeah, really, he was this iconoclastic giant human being. Of course, you know, he died in 1978, and I pretty much hung around him from ages 3 and 4 to about 9 years old. And that's where I spent the most time. So through my eyes, which is what the screenplay is being based on some of the things, he was just big, huge, bigger than life, mysterious. He wore these gigantic sunglasses, and of course, he looked like something from outer space. But a gentle and a kind man, but still the same. I mean, he was just very, very mysterious. It's something I'm going to have a lot more fun showing people than actually trying to explain his look, as far as that. But who he was a pioneer. He was a person, a libertarian who thought that everyone should share in all the riches of the world, wanted and did his best to share whatever knowledge and information that he had or any inventions that he had come by. And he actually had direct contact with extraterrestrials, both through his channeling sessions and directly through physical contact. So that in a nutshell, but sketch, that's who he was. But he also, he had a family, and we had an extended family out there, and he was a leader of really thousands and thousands of people, and carried their dreams and aspiration, and went out of his way to make everyone feel very good about their interactions with extraterrestrials, and was a counselor to many pilots and many people who had experienced contact with them, and saved a lot of lives along the way. So, but he was a human being, and out of the true West, and and out in the middle of the desert. And at that time, you can imagine, we might as well have been in the middle of Saudi Arabia. I mean, it was just out. It's still out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, nothing has changed. We've done some filming out there, and nothing has changed. It's pretty much the same. But even back then, it was so far remote. Like going to town might as well have been, taking a trek across the country.
So, I mean, you're talking the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, up until 78 when he passed away. Yes,
and that was during that time period. And of course, the big development out in California. And actually, it never really hit out that far out. It's not too far away from the 29 Palms Marine Base, I guess, logistically, which, as far as that. But very interesting, very magical place, and a lot of UFO activity. I mean, if you lived out there, chances are you were an experiencer of some sort of UFO contact, or at least be able to see visually a saucer or spaceship or some abnormality in the sky.
Well, your uncle George Van Tassel even made the cover of Life magazine.
Yes, he had the really interesting. What he did was he had these channeling sessions, and he was in contact with this one group of alien entities called the Council of Seven Lights, and they told him essentially that they were unhappy about above-ground nuclear testing, which you got to remember back in the 50s, that was with the red, white, and blue and NASCAR generation, I guess. It was everyone was pro anything nuclear to beat the Russians, and so for someone to even mention something like being anti-nuke or anything like that, it was crazy. But that was the council's displeasure, and they told him, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to buzz Washington, D.C., and we're going to do it quite often until they understand that we are displeased with above-ground nuclear testing. And so what my uncle do, he sent certified letters to Life magazine, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, the Department of the Air Force, several politicians, and a week later, one of the biggest saucer flaps that's ever occurred in this country happened over Washington, D.C. And so I guess it got their attention. It also got him in a little bit of trouble because, unfortunately, our government doesn't want, the people in power, they like to be the ones talking to the aliens. They don't like eccentric people out in the middle of the desert speaking to aliens. So he actually, at one time of his life, he was on Eisenhower's most dangerous persons list. And it's actually stemmed from that. And they during that time period, they created a group called COINTEL that literally went out to try to discredit anybody that mentioned or claimed that they had an experience with a UFO. And then, consequently, later on, they created a law that it was literally against the law to come in contact with aliens. So, and actually, we had a really kind of a funny argument with our lead character, Kevin Gage, and co-producer of this, because he couldn't believe it. And we looked it up, and sure enough, it was on the Federal Registry. It's against the law to talk to aliens.
It's still on the books. Wow.
Well, here's the thing. Through the years, we've been pushing for disclosure with, even with our group here in our movie, we've been pushing for more UFO disclosure. Well, of course, it's always, if you get any kind of material, it's all edited out. But, it's pretty much, they don't own any of they don't own Roswell. They don't own any of these crashes or anything like that. But yet, they had the foresight to create a law against it. So anyways, I thought that was, we just laughed about it.
Well, okay, what exactly is Giant Rock, and where is it?
Giant Rock is a 7-story freestanding boulder that was carved out by a man, a predecessor out there by a man named Frank Kreitzer, who was a German German merchant seaman that went out there, and he was a deeply metaphysical and was into UFOs and things like that. And he was out there prior to my uncle during the 1930s. In fact, it was my uncle and his uncle who actually staked him with groceries and some cash when he first went out there. So what Frank Kreitzer did, he dynamited and dug out this, very large room and lived out there in the desert in the rock. Where is it? Logistically, it's from, I guess, the closest town that you would probably want. I would guess it's about 40 miles northeast from Palm Springs, California.
Okay.
So yeah,
so this Kreitzer fellow, he invited your uncle out there, and your uncle pretty much fell in love with the place, and it's energy, so to speak. And Kreitzer, from what I'm reading, I don't know if this is correct or not, but because of his German ancestry, during World War II, he became under suspicion by the government as a possible spy or agent for Germany.
This is correct, and he spoke in broken English, barely could speak a word of English, but he also had a shortwave radio out there, and he would speak in German to other Germans in North America, through the shortwave radio. Well, that got the authorities, really interested in him.
Yeah.
And the guy was pretty much a loner, and he had his own contact experiences also, but he became somewhat paranoid, and then when the authorities came out there to question him, he wouldn't come out. And so consequently, they tried to smoke him out, and what they did in their efforts to get him out, he had several cases of dynamite underneath there and ignited him and literally eviscerated the man inside the rock. And so he ended up dying out there. Well, then shortly thereafter, that was in about 41, and my uncle kept on going out there, and so he actually moved from Century City, near Los Angeles, out and took his family, and he moved out there and lived inside the rock from 47 on. So, but yeah, that was the actual events that occurred. But Frank Kreitzer, the research that I have been able to do, and he was kind of the unsung hero with a lot of this stuff, because the bits and pieces I could find about him, he was a very interesting character, and actually he actually has a spot in the screenplay also. But yeah, it's kind of fun. And again, the key word is fun. I love doing this. I mean, this has so much history in my own personal history and my own personal experiences out there, which at the time, when I was experiencing them out there, they weren't particularly pleasant. But now that I'm older, I can I guess integrate them into my own life, and now I actually look at them as perhaps even a blessing as far as in my own evolution, as far as my own life.
Were you close with your uncle? What about your parents or your extended family, or did they think of him as the crazy uncle, the guy?
He was the crazy uncle. George was the crazy uncle. But the thing about it is, and they would, and this is I love this part, because my mother, there's two things. One, my uncle was very powerful within a certain amount of circles. I mean, he had friends. Howard Hughes was one of his friends. He actually worked for Howard Hughes very closely. He had a lot of very powerful people. Some were actually running for Gabriel Green, actually ran for senator out in California. So there were a lot of people that were backing him. So you had this pro-George, anti-George. But, our family on my dad's side, they were all, they owned small businesses, and they didn't think anything in terms of extraterrestrial or UFO or anything like that. But a great story is that my mother, God bless her, and she's since gone, she had nothing but bad, because my uncle was very popular. He was a human male, and he had a lot of girlfriends. Okay, he was there's no bones about it. He was a rounder when it came to some of that stuff, and so my mother didn't think very highly of him. And of course, everything that everything he said was, of course, not true, until one day my sister and my mother and me were taking a walk, which we would do at night out in the desert, and a space ship came about 100 feet above our head and buzzed us. And from that time on, it was a mystery to me. My mother never spoke one word against my Uncle George and his belief in UFOs. Go figure.
Okay. So fast forward now, you're thinking about your uncle and his life, and you're thinking this would make a great movie.
Absolutely, for several reasons. Number one, again, fast forward. I mean, I've went through several stages, and this man is literally haunted me. I mean, literally haunted me since his death. And I've been all over the world, doing various business deals. I've, been in the former Yugoslavia, been up to Alaska, Asia, you name it, doing various mining ventures or energy ventures. And I would run into people who actually knew him. And, the strangest, I would call it serendipitous or whatever, but I would run into people that knew him and painstakingly told me how much his words and his writings had influenced them in their various endeavors as far as how to think about things. And so, I became, impressed later on. Now, during my teens, I'd be sitting in a room with a few of my buddies, and, my uncle would come on television on one of the Discovery Sundays or whatever, and everyone would be going, "Oh, wow, that's the coolest dang thing," et cetera. And I'd be like a mute. I wouldn't even own him because I was so, I wanted to be so normal, as far as this. But the flip side of the whole thing that came with him was that I ran into rocket scientists from Morton Thiokol that told me that they would never have even thought of getting into that business without my uncle. I ran into Tesla people out of in Belgrade that followed both Tesla and some of my uncle's ideas and what have you. So he was well received. And then in addition to that, I ran into several pilots, both military and private, that literally were having, mental breakdowns until they could talk to my Uncle George, who had a vast knowledge, vast experience with UFOs, and he could kind of walk them back from this brink. So, the more I looked at him and his life and what he's done, I think that he needs to be brought out a little bit more in public. And it's just a very interesting subject, and it's rich. I mean, we've got the who's who of early, of Americana. I mean, you got people from L. Ron Hubbard that were out at the Rock at some of these channelings. You got Jack Parsons, who actually was who really was the main person that really created the JPL or Jet Propulsion Laboratories. Some of his ideas. It was the who's who. I mean, and so we call this the greatest UFO story never told, because it was like, and I couldn't really figure out why not. Well, and then of course, but through the years, I've literally had these almost my own contact with my uncle, saying, hey, kind of urging me on to do this. So anyways, that's I said. So I finally gave up. I finally gave up. I said, okay. But it wasn't until I got down here, we got a place down here in Mexico, and I fell over backwards. My new next-door neighbor, I'm looking out with my binoculars out there, and I see this guy, and he's the exact replica of my Uncle George. I almost fainted, and I don't faint over things, as far as that. And it was like, oh, God, and the only thing I could say is, here we go again. So I get the message, okay? I was talking to Kevin, and he said, well, I explained to him exactly what, met Kevin Gage. He was, an actor and what have you, and he just kind of says, hey, dude, you need to write a screenplay about this.
Yeah, this is.
I said, oh, yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, and he's like, this would make a great movie, and he's right.
Yeah, oh yeah, he said, yeah. Well, and also too, I mean. I go, well, and you always think, and of course he prefaces, this thing too when he says, "Hey, listen," he says, "Go write a screenplay. I'll tell you if it's any good, Chad." And he goes, "No, I really will." He says, "I'm going to tell you right now, if it's no good, I'm gonna let you know, okay?" And so I'm thinking, well, yeah, he probably tells that to everybody. It's kind of a reverse thing, but at any rate, it was just funny. About 8 months later, I had completed it, and he started reading it, and guy get a phone call. And he started reading it, and I get a phone call at around 11 o'clock at night, and it's Kevin. He goes, he says, "God," he says, "we got to make this movie." I said, "Okay, well, what do we have to do?" So that's essentially the genesis of it,
And there is a website for it. It's called GiantRockTheMovie.com.
Yep.
People can go there.
GiantRockTheMovie.com. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, and go to our website. Yeah, we have a lot of information there, and I write a blog on it, and we try to keep everyone's progressed as far as the movie. We look at this as this is more than a movie. I'm looking around, and everyone is. It seems like everyone in this whole country and the world seems to be. They're so busy, they're just looking down at their feet. It's time to start looking up, and really, we're kind of. It's kind of an organic thing. Right now, we have about 16 people attached to it. Some actors, and of course some really good technical people. We've got some people that came out of George Lucas's, Star Wars, and worked on with them, our DP. And we have some pretty good people involved with this thing, but it's pretty much an organic thing. I'm kind of looking at this, and as more or less the people's movie. I mean, and because it's a broad era, it's an epic. We're going from the 30, and actually it's a trilogy. I've actually started on the second sequel, of this thing here, and it's going to go on forever. But I mean, the parts. I mean, my book is so large as far as our need for talent and what have you, and it's our goal to kind of mix and match a little bit with some people that aren't well-known actors or haven't had a big shot.
Like us.
There we are.
Yeah.
I was just going to say.
You just hit the nail right on the head.
That's
He didn't mean to say
right.
that.
So yeah, and so I've been, that's what we're doing. So yeah, it's going to be this is not a low-budget independent. And people say, well, films aren't getting done here. Well, I tell you this, when they figure out, the greed factor, when they figure out what this is, and the demographics which we've looked at, it's huge. I mean, I don't know, most people who have any kind of intelligence, believe in intelligence out in the galaxy. So we've already got a pretty broad base, people that would go see a movie like this. So when people figure out are the powers that be, within the movie industry and within the financial industry, they're going to be a big participant because they can make $1 on it, because that's just the way it is. But we're very, very confident of this, of the screenplay, and very confident of the material. We've done our homework. It's something that's very, very exciting, and it's something different. I don't know. I mean, I saw Lincoln. I thought that shows. I think people are really looking for really a good something different. We've modeled this thing around the Hunger Games. In a lot of respects, is that we're building an audience before we even think about doing a release. It just there's certain things you got to do now that you never necessarily have to do earlier. Whereas essentially you would make a movie and then you bow down before the studios. Well, lots happened in the last few years. The whole movie making theory arena has changed. We're now in a situation where Hollywood really is a place where you go pick up little staff shoots. That's all it is.
Yeah.
The whole movie making industry is in Florida. It's in Denmark. It's in Belgium. It's wherever.
Yeah.
You may find some good good technical people there, and of course we're closely related to a lot of the shops up there and what have you. But right now we've kind of come to a place where the industry has kind of been a little bit with technology and video. It's been democratized a little bit here. So we think we've hit this at a very confusing time period, but we also feel this is probably the best time in the history to basically be in this business and to do this. And it is certainly, it's like the Mix Show. It's a business, and you got to keep the lights on and all that stuff. But this is really a fun project. It's interesting. It makes people think. The subject matter, and also includes a lot of very interesting characters. And I don't really pull any punches in the. I've actually had a little bit of problem because, most of my research, I pretty much lay it out the way it is. I'm not, on everyone, including Howard Hughes, and Howard Hughes was a racist, and I had one person said, "Well, I don't know if you want to put that. That might offend this group here." I said, "You know what?" I said, "If I have to go back and really sneak around every little thing, why do this?" I mean, I said, no.
You don't want to sugarcoat everything.
Like, for instance, Howard Hughes is a great man. I have nothing but respect, but he was a confused man also. So, it is what it is, So.
He had a venereal disease, and it ate away at his brain, and that was that, So
it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. So don't sugarcoat it. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So, are you going to be filming any scenes in the Integratron? And if so, tell them what the Integratron is.
Well, the Integratron is a dome. It was designed as a time machine or rejuvenation machine, and we in the first show the Integratron came afterwards. As far as within the first. With Giant Rock, the movie, that kind of came afterwards when it was getting built. So we're not going to be doing anything in this one, but in the sequel, we will do something with that. This is primarily about the Rock and all the history and building the base, for all the various sequels. And then we're going to get into more of the science, of course, I'm getting away. I haven't got the first one done, but I guess I'm ambitious. Anyway, but we will include it, but not till the sequel. As far as that, didn't answer your question.
Hang on just a second. The phone line is ringing. Hold on just a second. And caller, you're on the air.
That would be Kevin Gage.
Right on.
Is this my old friend Kevin?
Sic Mic, I believe.
You got it. Absolutely.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. Thanks for calling in. We've got Chad on. Chad's been telling us about George, his uncle, the progress of the film, and I want to let people know that Kevin is a co-producer of this film, Giant Rock the movie. And Kevin Gage is also acting. He's going to be playing the role of George Van Tassel in the film. And we have seen Kevin Gage in an extensive body of work in TV and films, ranging from such projects as Blow, Heat, Con Air, G.I. Jane, and CSI Miami, just to name a few. That only scratches the surface of this guy's resume. So, Chad, you're in real good company here. I think you got the right guy for the project.
Oh, I absolutely am in great company. Really, Kevin. Not only is he a fantastic actor, and of course, I study him extensively. And trust me, everything he does, I've got Kevin on my mind because of it's such an important role. But I study his every move, and I have such a body of work to go back and just look at some of this stuff, and it's really funny. Even a little thing too is one of his characters in Heat when he was going toe to toe with Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
And, he's portraying the character Waingro, and that was my scariest character I've ever seen in my life.
Intense.
And it just so happens he's my next door neighbor. How does that work?
Hey, well, you were in the film Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and it was directed by Michael Mann. You played the character of Waingro, which was just scary and sleazy beyond compare.
Wasn't Val Kilmer in that as well?
Val Kilmer was in it also.
Good movie.
His Waingro character was amazing. I do have a question about that particular film before we get back to the The Rock. Let's see here. This is Heat, and I was going to ask that at any point, anytime during the shooting, did you take director Michael Mann aside and advise him that Pacino is simply too old for his part and needs to be recast? And that
it's funny you bring that up.
Well, hang on,
and I thought that I should have been playing the role that he played.
Bingo!
I don't get it.
Bingo! and would you have told him that the storyline between Al Pacino and actress Diane Venora was simply implausible, and it took away from the film?
Oh God, you're killing me.
Come on, man! Come on!
No, I told Michael Mann nothing but thank you very much.
Oh man!
At least until the checks get.
Man, okay, all right. Listen, one more question, and we'll get back to Giant Rock. Listen, Blow. You were in Blow with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that was one of my all-time favorites.
That was directed by Ted Demme. And at any time during the shoot, did you take Ted Demme aside and advise him that this film is just too damn long?
No, actors never tell directors the films are too damn long. If anything, they aren't long enough. The longer the film, the bigger the paycheck.
All right.
I don't get it. Are you kidding? That is not just because I am in it, but it is one of my all-time favorite movies. You thought it was too long?
No, great flick. I'm with Kevin. Yeah.
I got into Heat. And I got into and I'm not even a guy who's into action movies. I love documentaries myself. So I really don't go see a lot of the mainstream Hollywood flicks. But when I saw Heat, I was impressed with it and the storyline. And then when it switched over to Al and the trouble he was having with his marriage, and I'm like, what's this? This is so unnecessary. Get more Waingro in there. Waingro needs to be like, or like you said, cast you in Pacino's role. Go for it. I mean,
There's so many things I'd like to say, but I'm not going to say it.
Listen.
Don't worry, nobody can hear you.
No one can hear you. It's strictly confidential.
It's just
strictly confidential.
You're in Florida, is that what I heard?
Yeah, we're in Bradenton, Florida, just south of Tampa, and this gets posted to YouTube, and no one will ever see it again. Trust me.
It's the end.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Of your career.
Tell them how you really feel.
Spill the beans.
I was 18 years old. I actually lived there in West Palm Beach. If it wasn't for local law enforcement, I'd probably still be there. I loved it down there. Love Florida. So good for you. That's a good part of the country to be in.
All right. So what's your vision for this film? Tell me your take on George Van Tassel and what you see this film progressing as.
Gosh, what a question. Well, George Van Tassel, the man himself. I really don't know how to put it into words, Mick. To tell you the truth, he was just. If I spill my heart out, your audience and the whole world will think I'm crazy, which I'm thinking it was a big part of George's life. But I've read as much as I could possibly read on the man and his books, and I think he actually had the contact with the star people that he claims to have had. And, I mean, actually, it's pretty much proven, wouldn't you say, Chad? I mean, he's got documents that he had sent via registered mail to President Eisenhower that they were going to fly over the White House, but they, meaning alien spacecraft. They told George to relay this to President Eisenhower, and he did relay it to the president and other multimedia outlets, the Washington Post and a few others, I believe, that this flyover was going to happen on July of 1952, and you can Google it, buddy. It happened, and I think that pretty much says it right there.
Well, he had all the newspapers in his back pocket, Kevin. You know that as well as I
do. Well, it doesn't matter to me because 50 years later we're making a movie about it. So. Yeah. No, I think he was an incredible human being. I would have given anything to meet the man, and call me crazy, but I believe everything I've read about him. And if he was alive today, I think when it gets right down to it, his message was it was an obvious one. He was against the above ground nuclear testing and below ground of planet planet-wise, period. But also, I think his bottom line message from the people above was follow the golden rule, which I think if we all did that, what a happy-ass place it'd be, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, just looking at your resume there and all the work that you've done, I mean, this is again yet another departure from everything else that you played. It seems. I mean, playing from cops to psychos to killers to, I mean, you've played everything. Now that you've got this, I mean, this is a completely different role. I mean, this is a really cool role. This is something that is, I would love to play.
Al Pacino would like to play.
It is. Yeah.
He's too old.
Just
The
saying.
role was made for Kevin.
No, you
I
kept
mean,
it.
if any role was made for a person, sometimes you get lucky casting, and I've been, casting here and there, all along. But as far as Kevin, he just made. He has the voice. Kevin's from the Midwest, and my uncle was from Ohio. It's the look, the face, everything. It's just the mannerism. It's crazy. It's absolutely, it's otherworldly. It's crazy. So. Yeah.
He was a huge ladies' man, You know this, right? Man?
Yeah, Chad.
So so I'm thinking I'm the only guy for the job.
Yeah, he briefed us on that. Yeah. All right. So Okay. So you're George. What other roles are you casting for presently?
Well, there's and we're working on some. And all has to do with the dollar bill, but we're casting for a Hispanic lead, a love interest of his.
That's Keith.
And and there's several other things. I mean, there's several lookalikes. Of course, one of them would be Howard Hughes. Then there's, of course, a slew of FBI, but it's really centered around three main characters. One is Frank Kreitzer, the early guy, and that what we're going to be casting. We'd like to cast somebody from Germany, with that actually can speak English and that, and then of course Kevin is George, and then we're casting for a smaller kid that between the ages of 6 and 8 years old to play another. It's really based around three main characters.
Okay.
And of course there's love interest of George. And then there's a whole bunch of, very, very short but very, very intricate, and important roles that need to be filled. And gosh, I mean, the list keeps going on. I tell you, it's going to be, there's going to be quite a few people in it. So yeah.
Well, we're connected or trying to connect. We're schmoozing with the local film community down here. There's a lot of people in the area that are making independent films, and we like to make ourselves available as extras and anything else they could use us for. I mean, so we're always game as far as trying out new things. And recently we just played. We were cannibal clowns in a horror movie called Big Top Evil. So we played cannibal clowns. And thought we did it.
We get a round of Razzies on our way too.
That's right. Yeah. So I think we did a damn good job. But I mean, if I'm telling you got to take a look at us. And
if you can stomach it,
things we do to make a buck. Huh?
Right? Yeah.
Hey, listen. We're actually going to be doing some, contests and things like that. And what we want to do is get as many faces so we can take a look at. It's funny. I found there's several roles in this. I think I just recently found one on the internet. So it's really, it's impartial. It's funny if you got the right face and the right sound of voice and et cetera, hey, you got the job.
Hey, if this is impartial, we're screwed.
Chad, did you mention that we will be launching a contest for a few of the smaller roles?
Yeah, actually, we have about 8, and there are about 8, and really, what is it? 8? How many roles is it, Kevin? It's 8 to 12.
I think it's like 12 roles. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they're one-line roles, and what they come, they can help an actor and actress, get a voucher towards a SAG card if they're doing it, and won't pay a lot of money, but it'll get them some words and their face on the screen, and we'll just keep their and because we are doing sequels, and we actually have some other projects we may want to try to sink our teeth into. So we are looking for talent, and the only thing about it, all the talent agencies I look at, all the women are so gosh damn beautiful. I can't. I mean, it's great to have beautiful women, but how many beautiful women can you have in a scene? So
yeah, it loses its effect.
It's somewhat realistic.
Yeah, so you're looking for homely women?
Well, I like homely women. Well, actually,
we got time here.
Because we can put you in that dress.
Okay, and she's called Fat Grandma. I mean, we're talking about like in this one, we're talking about weathered desert pruned people.
Yeah.
So the model, makeup can do a lot, but it'd be preferable if we would have somebody with a little flesh on their skin and a little bit of a character.
The people that attended your uncle's UFO conference out there at Giant Rock, they weren't all supermodels. They came from every walk of life, and that's what you need.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And so we need actually average-looking people. So, yeah, I mean, but then again, also too, don't send me your wake-up, video picture. Just send me the one you got, because I don't like looking at ugly women either.
You don't want to see pictures of these guys. Every one of them is them taking it into a mirror. It's quite ugly.
Right. Don't ugly yourself up for this, please.
Hey, look, he's the star of the movie. I'd be willing to play sand around Big Rock. I mean, I don't care. If I want to play, there is Giant Rock, but there's also Little Rock. Oh,
that's in Arkansas.
Right.
if you need somebody to play sand around, the rock, I could do that too.
And we need,
tumbleweed.
We do need some alien-looking people too.
Mick.
So I don't know what you look like.
Absolutely.
But, maybe
he looks like Wilford Brimley minus the mustache.
Because he just cut it off.
Oh no! I got a reel. I'll send you
a reel.
Guys, I have a reel. I'll go ahead and I'll send it to you. I'll send you some scenes of a recent film that I was in, or that I will be in. I play an early 1970s stoner-type DJ, FM DJ.
Oh, God.
I tell you what.
What's that?
You know what, Kevin? I don't. We probably shouldn't mention this to him because, but yeah, we actually have a radio guy that within the whole screenplay too. We actually do have a radio guy that interviews my uncle. So yeah. So hey, you have a shot at it, buddy.
Famous radio guy. Yep.
Well, listen, like I said, I growing up in the 70s, I was surrounded by those types of people. So I drew from experience, and I'll send you the clip, and you can decide for yourself if I have any range or not.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Absolutely. I mean, this is the whole thing. And Kevin has told me, and Kevin is a veteran character actor, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what he's told me as far as this, because I've done a casting call. This is years back, and this is for I was producing a show for the old Financial News Network. Anyways, we had a casting call, and I bled. I bled for everybody that showed up because I wanted to give everybody a job. But Kevin basically, he just, he has a great. Kevin's been on a lot of auditions, for every part he's got. What, Kevin? How many did you not get? Maybe 10.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So
for Heat alone, it took 11 meetings over 2.5 months to get the job.
Wow.
And which is really abnormal. But no, I'm guessing for every job I've done, I've been on 20, 30 auditions for every one I get.
Okay. Well, this brings up another question that I have. And this is for Kevin. CSI Miami, David Caruso. At any point in time during the shoot, did you take David Caruso aside and say, "Listen, Red, I'm Waingro and Instructor Pyro. At any time, anytime you want me to give you some acting lessons, I'm here for you.
Ouch! Ooh! Oh God! Ouch! You just well, let's not have any honesty live on the air.
This is the Mic Show.
Now you're going to say his career went downhill after Rambo, right?
No, I worked face to face with David, and he was on his best behavior, and
yeah,
we're live. I think he's a great actor.
I think his problem,
I happen to like him too.
His problem is he's just not dramatic enough.
That's right.
yeah.
Did you smudge his sunglasses?
Yeah.
And you're sitting there scratching your head going, this SOB gets paid how much to do this? This is insane.
Jesus.
Come on.
That's funny.
All right. I have another question. All right. You were in G.I. Jane with Demi Moore.
Yes,
you,
I was.
You played Instructor
We
Pyro.
shot that, most of that was shot right down there near you in Jacksonville.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, that's right. It was directed by Ridley Scott. You were Instructor Pyro. Let me ask you something about G.I. Jane then. At any time during the shoot, did you take director Ridley Scott aside and advise him that he is making a very expensive chick flick?
Once again, it was nothing but, hey, buddy, thanks for having me to the
Thanks for
party.
the job.
Ridley's the man. An expensive chick flick or not, I think he got his money back and then some.
All right,
But
okay.
it's funny, you know, when I saw the title of the script, it was G.I. Jane, and I thought, G.I. Jane?
Yeah.
Gee, I don't know, really, but it was a very odd kind of low-budgety title, but you know, once I read the script, and even before I knew Demi Moore was in it, and it's a big Ridley Scott production, I thought, yeah, this will work.
Well, when I saw the movie poster, I said, I don't know. You know, I didn't get to read a script, so you know, I don't know, just wasn't buying it.
You didn't see the movie?
No, I thought it was a chick flick. You know?
No, hell no. It was actually a pretty good movie, and my hats off to Demi Moore. That woman, she bucked up and took shots for the team the whole time. She went through this vigorous training course and had her entourage there that kept telling her she shouldn't run so hard and get bruised and scraped and blistered, and she pushed them all away. And she was just a very impressive woman. Not to mention actress.
Wow.
But she also did a really great thing on the set. I loved it. You haven't seen the movie, but instead of calling them extras, the background people they had a lot of action to do, and they got their asses kicked in the movie a lot. So we didn't call them extras. They were the top 40, we called them. And long story short is, in Hollywood, the extras, background people, a lot of times they don't let them near the cast or eat the same food. They have their own little section, and Demi Moore, she just didn't think that was right, and she told the producers that the following day, if the top 40 didn't have two masseuses on set and seats with us at our own tables and all the perks that we got, that she wasn't coming to work, and they got it the next day. So people should know that about Demi. She's a real good woman.
No, was it in your contract that you had to say that?
Not one bit.
Okay,
No,
all right. Oh, now you're being honest with us.
Everyone do that without being paid. You don't have to.
Now, yeah, okay. We just want to see if you were acting. Yeah.
Yeah. Three words for you: Long John Neville. Just remember that.
Okay. Hey, you were speaking about eating on the set. So, what's going on with your film, Giant Rock? The movie, are you going to have craft services? I mean, what kind of food?
What kind of grub?
Because first off, hang on. Let me.
all raw vegan, so everyone
not
has
all of
to.
us.
Oh, because here on our shoots, some
are not going to be the raw vegan, but we we're all raw vegan people here, so yeah, we'll be eating carrots.
No, don't let him do that. No, I am a carnivore, meat eater. Don't get in my way. We will have the best.
No, we're gonna have T-bone steaks.
Yep.
We have the barbecue out in the desert.
Depends on the budget.
Have it roasting. Yeah, I can just see it now.
Yeah, Wayne Grow didn't look like a vegetarian in Heat. Sorry, just did not look like it. Because I mean, even though with our limited experience, we do have certain, prerequisites. I mean, certain demands that need to be met, and on our shoots, we're used to getting the best potato chips and water that money can buy.
Yeah,
so,
Jay's potato chips, not Lay's.
Not Lay's.
Jay's potato chips.
Best catering.
Yeah.
Hey,
You will, yeah. We'll
anything and
have the best.
everything you want.
Yeah. And the finest wine.
And Kool-Aid.
Also.
That's what we got.
So yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, I don't, sitting out there in the desert with a bag of chips and a bottle of water. I mean,
And a personal trainer. You have to put your request in. We don't know what you want, so you're going to have to let us know beforehand.
I only like the brown M&Ms.
Right.
No, yeah, right. No green M&M.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
When have you shot any footage yet, or when do you start shooting?
Well, we've done a lot of promotional stuff, this whole thing, and we're just waiting for our DP to get off another shot, and we're going to start in our teasers and trailers segment, and then we're going to, clean out our piggy banks and try to get the first scene shot somewhere in the next month or two. As far as this, it's all everything is budget, money. So what I do on one side is I'm this creative screenwriter, and I'm on the other side. I put the suit on and go hunt for money. So that's what we're doing right now as far as that. Does your uncle's and Kreitzer's cave still exist? No, it does not. What they did is they bulldozed that thing all under. It used to. Yeah, they bulldozed it. There was a restaurant and a house out there also, and they bulldozed it over also. So yeah, there's 2 slabs of cement, and they couldn't do anything with the rock. But it's still standing out there. So. We'll be doing some shooting out there, as far as, out there, but a lot of this stuff, of course, is done in studio and,
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think of where I was going to crash when I go out there to do my scenes. I got to have a place to sleep.
Well, you can just bring the RV right out there. You can just drive out there with your RV, and that's where you can crash.
Cool, they're giving us an RV.
It doesn't matter.
That's our trailer.
Now,
right?
now I have to go find an RV.
RV America.
Or put your seat back in your car.
There you go.
Come on, man. We'll have a Star Wagon for Mick.
We'll get a Star Wagon.
Man.
Hey, Mick, getting back to this, I'm serious. Long John Neville. This is your part, man. You need to do some research on this. I'm dead serious. Long John Neville. Remember the Long John Neville show?
The name is familiar.
Like related to Aaron Neville, or
no?
Yeah, actually, Long John Neville. Yeah, Long John Neville. He was the Larry King took that show over out of New York, and my uncle was. In fact, there's still footage of that. My uncle was on that show quite regularly, and and he was really quite popular. Ran into a lot of people. In fact, the director of my company, a Madison Avenue guy, he would literally. He was so devoted to my uncle, which I didn't know. That again, one of this weird stuff where I run to people. He would set his alarm clock at 1 o'clock, and get up and listen to the radio show and then go back to bed. But but anyways, there's a lot of information on that. But yeah, seriously, if you see if you can do it, man.
I'm looking at his Wikipedia page right now. Yeah,
is he all-night?
Popular all-night radio host with millions of regular listeners and fanatical, loyal following. He had a syndicated program. Let's see, UFOs, other offbeat topics, and a
lot of hot chicks.
And a lot of hot chicks.
That lets Mick out.
He was married. He was married to I think a stripper for a while, and I don't know, but very interesting character. We have, there is a plethora of interesting characters that get interwoven through this whole script. And I mean, it moves boom, 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 boom. As far as how the scenes go up, and even some of the characters we've been able to include on this thing. I mean, it's all there. It was a lot of fun writing the thing, and it works really well. I mean, it's really going to be a lot of fun. Shooting is based on a lot of my own memory and my own vision and all that stuff. But there's a lot of stuff out there that's just really it's just fun stuff.
I am still in shock that Chad banged out this unbelievable big Hollywood production-looking screenplay on his first time out. And when I told him he should write a script about his uncle and his life, I think I told him straight up, I said, it's probably going to suck because you're not a writer, and most writers, their first times out suck anyway. But Chad, he just blew me right off the chair. I could not believe he wrote it. It's big Hollywood right out of the gate.
Good deal. I mean, yeah, we want to see the movie. Not only see it, but we want to be in it. Like I said, in any capacity.
Well, yeah. I made it so big. I mean, I went from small, low budget independent to major studio production. So I've ruined my life.
Hey, I was going to get on.
It really is so big, though.
That's what Kevin kept on telling me. This is big. This is big. I go, oh God.
It is. There's just no doubt about it. I've read so many scripts in my day, and I read that damn thing. I was like, my God, how did he do that? It was.
Are you making any pitches to studios or anything for any type of backing, or you're looking outside the studio system?
We're what we want to do, and this is for our own protection, as far as this, and we're, like I said, we're building our audience first. We're trying to make friends out there and get people well aware of us, and then what our goal is to shoot the first scene. The first scene is so dynamic, when it opens up, and then we will that at that point, that's when we'll be looking for distribution or some negative pickups and things like that, or maybe even bring in a foreign distributor to come up with some of the cash to shoot the whole thing, and then go from that thing. What we want to do, what we don't want to do, and this has been, I mean, I think we've got it, and I don't want anybody, and I've kind of had a little bit of, we're around a lot of Hollywood people and what have you. Well, you can't say this, you can't say, and I was talking about this before. I'd rather not do it. If I can't make the movie I want to make, I just soon, I'll wait. I mean, I just would, this thing. This is the closest thing to Kevin and I have ever come to magic, and I mean, and we're like the keepers of the Grail here. I mean, it's a great story. It just needs to be nurtured. It needs to be protected, and so yeah, we're just going to be very, very careful. But I just, like I said, when the greed, people are going to figure out that this could be a fairly large franchise. And I think we'll get with some offers the further we get along. But for right now, we're just kind of working ourselves through casting, getting various people into various places, just moving it gingerly along. And we've essentially, Kevin and I of our we've been bankrolling this thing out of our own pockets. So it's been
we want to stay away from the studios. They will steal all the creative control, and let's not go there. Hollywood's been really good to me, but I've never wanted to produce anything for various reasons. I like just being an actor, going to my mark, saying my line, getting my check, and going to the beach. But I always thought that one day something special would come along that I'd be passionate about, and that I'd probably like to put on a producer hat. And this one's the one. Giant rock, baby.
Sounds good. It's great. Like I said, I was just going to take a plane out there and with a sleeping bag and just, wait till I'm called, so, on the set.
We like your style, because that's what we're eating beans also. So we'll be out there with you next to you.
Yeah. I'll just, I'll hitchhike to wherever once I get to the airport, and I'll just crash, and I'll bring plenty of potato chips and water. And hang out until I'm called on the set, and then we'll do it. Whatever. Like I said, I'll play sand if I have to. You know, I mean,
Mick, the Sandman.
a tumbleweed. You know, I'll just play a tumbleweed going by in the desert. But
you'll be a Joshua Tree. Just hold your arms up.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That's cool. I'm with that. Listen, before we let you go, I do want to ask Kevin Gage one more question here. You were in The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Oh, cool.
And
you're wondering if I took him aside.
Well, no. Actually, it was directed by Joe Dante, and I was wondering at any time during the shoot, did you take director Joe Dante aside and advise him that the best way to save this turkey is to have less Tom Hanks, more Henry Gibson, and you as the cop, and to leave Corey Feldman on the cutting room floor?
Oh, man, you shoot right from the hip.
Come on, man. Come on. Hey, I paid.
No, once again, I think I looked Joe right in the eye and gave him a big old bear hug.
All right. Yeah.
Love your work.
That's funny.
Kevin's got a great career in politics.
That's funny.
This is exactly.
We're in all kinds of trouble now, Kevin.
This is precisely why Kevin is a working actor. We're doing the mix show right.
God.
Diplomacy.
Yeah, because we walk in as
And I
extras.
think
What's going on
Corey
here?
I think he took care of his own career. We haven't seen much of him lately. Poor guy.
Who was that?
I was just saying, I made a comment about Corey Feldman. We haven't seen much of him.
Well, that's
for
good,
years
though.
Now.
Yeah, that's fine. We're good with that. Yeah.
We're just good with that.
Yeah, we're fine.
Doesn't bother us.
Hey, you guys, I gotta go.
Yep.
I'm the Hollywood guy that I am. I'm actually doing a DVD signing here, and I'm in my car on my cell phone.
Right on.
I was in there 1 minute ago for a movie called Lightning Bug that's going to Blu-ray. So
Good
I
deal.
just want to say thank you, Mick, for having me on the show, and Chad, and hope to
You other
see
two chumps.
in the role of Long John Nebel, maybe. Huh?
Yeah, listen, I'm going to send you guys my reel. I'll send you the YouTube link. You look at it and give me your honest critique. Seriously, no kidding aside. You can look at it and go, you suck,
No
or
problem, man.
maybe we can use you.
It's a shaman.
So, yeah, Kevin Gage, everybody, please don't be a stranger. Feel free to call in anytime you want, and we appreciate you coming on the Mix Show.
Thanks, pal.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Kevin.
it.
Thanks, Kevin.
Take it easy.
Thanks a lot.
Hopefully we'll be talking again one day soon. See you, Florida.
Will do.
Take care.
Well, I don't know. Is he allowed back in the state? You know?
Yeah, he
he's not.
made it sound like maybe not.
Yeah. He'll call in.
He really did run into some problems.
He ain't the only one.
That's why he'll call in and not stop in, right? So,
right.
all right, good. Listen, I don't know. I'm being greedy about this. I didn't want my audience to know about the auditions, but I'll go ahead and share the info. If anybody wants to audition for Giant Rock the movie, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, let me see here. We're so freaking, and of course that's Kevin. But the main thing is go to giantrockthemovie.com. That would be the best way, and leave a thing there. We have a link here. It is okay. This is in association with the FMG TV network. And here's the other link that we're trying to get people for them to send their videos to. Well, they need to go this thing first, then they get the dialogue, then they send the video to. So it is HTTP, double dots, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's fmg.tv.giantrock.
Okay,
They
I'm
can
sorry.
get to that.
I'm sorry. I'm going to get it clear now. After the www dot is what?
Let me see here.
FG.
No, FMG TV /Giant Rock. That's a direct link to the contest page. But if they run into any problem, just tell them to go to Giant Rock the movie, and we will link them up there.
Good deal.
So either or.
No, I got the link there for FMG TV as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the page.
Okay, good.
And let the listeners know that they can go there for an audition as well. And, we look forward to either being in it and seeing it. And anything we can do on our end to help you with the film, by all means, let us know.
Thanks,
it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
No, it is. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, man. There's a lot of goodwill, and it's a lot of fun. We get to meet a lot of really neat people, and we really enjoy being on your show, man. It's
Good
really
deal.
nice.
And don't be a stranger. You can call in anytime you want, and by all means, if we'll send you our reels, and maybe we'll be in Giant Rock the movie. Who knows?
You know what? Hey, listen. You never know. Send them.
You never know.
Absolutely send them.
Exactly. Well,
okay.
Chad Meek, we do appreciate you coming on the show, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future.
It's been my pleasure, man.
And GiantRockTheMovie.com. I encourage everybody to go there and check it out. Have a good night. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Chad.
So.